Hello, welcome to Matrix Live. The date today is the 9th of the 8th of 2019. I'm Ben, I'm here with Erik.
Hello everyone.
And we're going to do a slightly strange Matrix Live today. No video of us, which is a mercy for the viewer and the producer. But we're going to do a screencast. Erik is going to attempt to install Prometheus on my unreliable and flaky home server. Last week I was having a few problems with my home server, and Erik suggested, well, you've got no monitoring. How can you possibly know that it's working or not? I cited the fact that I wasn't getting a sync as it not working, and he said, well, you need more graphs than that. So today he is going to help me install Prometheus on my own home server. Erik, do you want to lead and tell us how we would get started on this?
Yeah, the small flaw in this plan is that I can't actually remember how to do any of this, but that will add to the fun, hopefully. But basically the way that this is set up is that you have your home server and you configure it to basically add a HTTP endpoint which you can just hit with curl or whatever, and it will just give you all the metrics known to man. And the way that Prometheus works is that it's just a separate server that lives somewhere else, and you configure in it all the different endpoints that you want it to scrape. So you can say, hey, there's a synapse over there, scrape that metrics endpoint.
Right.
And then it will just do that periodically every 30 seconds and then produce some lovely, lovely graphs.
Okay.
So that's going to be step one. So Prometheus is just basically a time series database that does all of and stores all of these metrics for 90 days by default.
Okay.
Separately to that, you have Grafana, which is what we commonly use to actually produce really nice and pretty dashboards.
That's the most common way, I think. Is to use Prometheus and then feed it into Grafana for display.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Yes, I mean Prometheus does have its own little. You can faff around on the web font end it gives you, but it's very noddy. So
sure.
Grafana gives you all sorts of pretty heat maps and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, I've seen them.
So yeah, I think that's basically the plan.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess step one is probably just to get Prometheus set up somewhere on your server.
So shall I log into my own server now?
Whoa,
that's plenty.
Yeah, there you
go. So I need to log in again. Root at, because I know exactly about security.
Cool. Woo.
Happy
Go in
days.
again.
All right.
Should we have a quick look at the Prometheus stocks?
Yeah, please.
So, okay, right. So the latest version is 2.11. So we probably want to use a newer version than 2.1. Assuming that was 2.1?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Alt tab.
Alt tab. Right. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a little bit old.
Okay.
Let's get a proper one.
Okay.
Cool. So probably the easiest way is actually just to use a Docker rather than trying to set it up. And yeah, do you have Docker installed?
Docker is on there, yes.
Well, that makes life a lot easier. First question is...
Is it really that simple? I can just run a single Docker command and get everything...
Yes,
wow.
It is. So the thing about you should be a little bit careful of here is if you do put it in a Docker container like this, then it will store the data inside of the Docker container. So if everything explodes in a ball of flames, you lose all your metrics.
Right, I see.
Which for some people it's not going to really be a problem. But if you're doing things really seriously, then you probably want to keep the data around. But as you can see, you can just mount
absolutely.
something in there.
Yeah.
But for now, let's not bother.
No, I mean, that's fine.
If you lose metrics, it's not the end of the world. No. Especially when you're debugging, you only really care about...
Yeah, precisely. 90 days is already a little bit much, I think.
Yeah, it is. But that's completely configurable. You just don't want to take up all of the disk space known to man.
No.
But let's actually first just get that.
Command,
C. This is going to drive me up the wall.
I can get you another keyboard. We have the technology.
So there is a Docker installed. Excellent.
Oh, sorry, dear, very readable.
Yeah, I've just exposed all of your deepest, darkest secrets there.
Oh no. So for anybody reading along, this is the default setup configured by Slavi's Ansible to Docker playbooks. Great.
Cool.
So we have this.
That's excellent. So I guess the only question is, where do we want to put the config file? Let's just stick it somewhere in opt. because I have no idea how you set this up.
No, I mean, I think that's fine.
How do we get a config file? Surely they have a default config file somewhere. Right, blah, blah, blah. Aha.
Right, that's simple. So just don't offer an extra config file, I suppose.
Well, yes. Although we do kind of want. Oh, well, yeah, let's just run one. Whoops. And then steal its config
Command.
And there's going to be a lot of.
And again.
Right, yeah.
What's confusing is that it's still Control-C to break process.
Yeah, I'm also used to the Linux where you need to go Control-Shift.
Yeah. Well, this solves that problem, in fairness.
This has gone well. We need to. How do you demonize things again? Add attach. There we go.
Right.
That's
okay.
better. Which of course is helpfully not called demonize, but let's ignore that. Boom. Winning at life. Okay. Exec. That's going to. If you don't have tab complete on this, it's going to drive me up the wall. Right.
I mean, there is tab complete, right? It just isn't coming up for that particular thing.
Oh, it's just called it something completely ridiculous. That's okay.
Wait, is that a random thing that it just...
Yeah, if you don't give a Docker container a name, it comes up with a latent fable.
Wow. Okay. I'd almost rather air it out and told you what's the name of this instead of doing that.
Oh, fine, be like that.
Yeah, I find that a lot.
Okay, where is this Docker? No, I'm also completely incapable of typing this early in the morning.
It's alright, it's live on stage.
Yeah.
At least it's not literally live.
There's probably not going to be a Vim in here, is there? Right, Prometheus.
Okay,
cool. So, it's a fairly noddy thing. You can ignore most of the settings. I probably shouldn't be pointing at the screen because that's not helpful.
Well, no, it's keeping the cursor available.
Yeah, so I was just pointing with my finger, which is definitely not
Well,
helpful.
it's benefiting me.
Yeah. So the scrape configs is what I was talking about earlier, where what this is, you just have this list of jobs, and each job just basically represents sort of a service, and each service has a bunch of targets you can scrape. So the useful thing here is, so this is just scraping itself,
yes.
so metrics.
Okay.
Later we'll add Synapse to this, and if you have multiple instances, you can have multiple targets here and things like that.
Synapse on this server is itself in a Docker container. Is that going to be a problem?
We're going to have to either expose the metrics port or link up the networks or something like that.
So either Docker networking or just expose it by port.
Yeah, I'd probably expose it by port.
Yeah, it seems easier.
Yeah. And you have some options here. The easiest is basically to put metrics on a separate port.
Yes.
Because you don't. I mean, there's nothing in the data that's really sensitive, but you probably don't want to be exposing that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So cool. I'm just going to copy this rather than trying to figure out how you copy things out of a Docker container.
Right. Yes. Do you want to open a?
I'm sure there's going to be fine. Right. So if we do vim opt Prometheus is where we put it. Prometheus.
That has what tab complete just yet.
I don't think there's one there yet. Alright. Now is this going to go horribly wrong? No. Excellent. Vim wasn't terribly helpful. So we have this. And we go that. Cool. Then if we do Docker just stop for the current one.
Yes.
I'm probably just going to destroy it, to be honest.
Okay. All right. So we're only using that Docker container just to.
That was just mainly just to get the config out of it.
See. Okay. Sorry. I thought we were planning to run it in a Docker all along.
We are going to run it in Docker all along.
Right.
But hang on.
You need to set up a new one with the config file.
Yes. I mean, I probably could have just use the old one, but I can't really be bothered to remember how it all works.
Okay.
How do you name these things before? There we go, name. Excellent. Let's just copy this.
Yeah. And then just add the name in.
Yeah, actually it's just -v, isn't it? Okay, cool. Then we just need to mount this. So opt Prometheus.
Yes.
Prometheus.yaml
Yep.
into Etsy. Prometheus.
There on the previous Prometheus.
There we go. Right, I knew there was something had gone horribly wrong with my spelling. Prometheus, right? YAML. Yes, and we have a -d, so it runs in the background. Let's stick a name in there just call it Prometheus.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Fine.
Excellent.
It's not going to conflict with anything. Great.
So hopefully we can just. That's actually running something. Cool.
Wait, that's great. Okay,
Found
cool.
the graph. Excellent. Cool. So that's just all Docker networking and all the rest of it, and input accept. So if we take your IP address wherever it's gone, this one.
Yes.
And then go to. We should probably have a firewall here. Haha. Winning.
Ta-da! This is great. All right, so this is the first step in configuration.
Yeah, so we now have a wonderful stuff, and we can have all the, Prometheus things. I think if you do process CPU, you can see, look, graph. It's been using this much CPU.
Right, great.
So if we. Boom. So this is it scraping itself.
Cool. So it's been running for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's been running for 2 minutes, and it's
30-second increments.
Doing something. Yeah, a fair bit of CPU.
Cool. Okay.
But yeah, so that's running. So now the second thing is, I guess, to configure. Well, what does the instruction say? Yeah, configure the metrics. So I'm going to configure it so that we put the metrics on a separate port.
Yes.
This will just make it easier to bind just to localhost. So you.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, you need to have something on the front end. The other thing is to have it put the metrics on the same endpoint as all the client APIs.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But then you need a front end proxy to make sure that.
Just moving the port is the solution. Yeah.
So.
Okay. Cool.
Let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's no disadvantage to this. I don't think.
No, there isn't. It just is another port that you need to.
Oh, I see. It's one.
Which is just like. So where did you put your config for Synapse?
It's /matrix/synapse.
Oh, exciting. /matrix/synapse.
So this is /config. Pardon me.
Yeah.
This is not my doing. This is the playbooks, the Docker and Ansible created by Slavi. Slavi and the gang, I suppose.
Cool. So, you have a bunch of stuff. Let's add what port should we put it on?
Something in the 9000s, surely, just to be consistent. 9001, or is there any convention here?
I'm just going to pick one at random.
Wow.
Yep. Find addresses. I can't spell addresses. I've never been able to spell addresses first time in my life.
It's lots of doubles, isn't it?
Yeah. And then we just want localhost on IPv4. There you go. And then type, I think, was metrics. Type metrics.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So this also has the advantage of it runs the metrics listener on a separate thread. Which means that it's more likely to, if your server is wedged, you're more likely to be able to get at the metrics. Although that's not 100% foolproof.
No, okay.
Okay, so we have that. So that's great.
Yes.
And then we should probably restart Synapse.
Sure.
How do you do that? Is that in a
I do that by Ansible. Okay, let me. So praise for these playbooks too. They just run really well.
Cool. So hopefully, if we now go to curl, HTTP, 156, you're right.
So doing that restart of Synapse has just probably re-enabled presence, which has been a slight problem for my home server from the beginning. So we might actually have some more interesting metrics to look at as a result of this.
It hasn't picked it up. It's been up, so it's restarted. Oh, of course, we need to add the thing to Docker. That would explain it. Right. How do you add? We're going to want to add a port to the Docker. Is what we're going to want.
To the new container or to the Synapse container?
To the Synapse container.
Okay. To expose the metrics. Okay.
To expose the metrics. So we don't actually want to bind it to 127 because it's in a Docker container. We just want to bind the port. Right. Okay.
Okay.
How is the best? Well, I mean, I guess if you're using.
Should we restart again?
Yeah, but we're going to need to add. We're going to need to add the expose the port.
Then you're going to see all the fun configuration that I've been doing here. So this is my matrix.org configuration in Ansible.
It's probably going to be in a role somewhere. Tasks. Oh my days! So many roles.
Yeah, I mean it's a really thorough playbook.
Oh my days! Right.
Anybody watching at home will be screaming, "It's here! It's here!"
Yeah. Aha. Right, okay, fine. So let's just bind it locally. So it was 9156.
Yes.
156.
Yes, it was.
Hang on. Backslash.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Right, okay, cool.
Yes.
So it's it. And then let's just run this thing again. And hope it doesn't explode in a ball of flames. Oh, we probably needed to actually deploy the thing. System. Since everything now is in system control, we can just mess around on the box. Cool. It was 9156.
It was.
Cool. Ooh. So we need to do a daemon read load to make it pick up the thing.
Right, okay. This is getting out of my Unix for this bit.
Just one synapse.
Yep.
Yep, we've got it there.
Fab.
Cool.
Great.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we can just do a restart.
Okay. Of Synapse or of the whole?
Of Synapse. Cool.
Right.
So now, if we have a look at what's being bound, hopefully, we should see a 9156. We do see a 9.
Yay.
And it's correctly bounded just to the local host, so people won't be able to, at home won't be able to just curl this. No, not HTTPS. I bet you don't have. Oh, I don't have that set. Excellent. Minus RTP. Right. So for whatever reason, it's not picked up the port. Okay. So there is there. So why hasn't that been picked up? Interesting. Okay. Do you remember how to get the logs out of this?
They're just in the system logs. So
yeah, I can't remember how to use Jennikov as well.
Okay. Can we not just do like that?
Probably. Right. Where is it? Should somewhere say what it's binding, what listeners it's binding to. Listeners, but why aren't you type metrics? Is it type metrics? Let's type metrics, port, bind addresses.
Oh, what did that say? For both options, we need to ensure that enable metrics is set to true.
That
so there's
would be,
one more thing.
It would help, if I actually read.
What, the Synapse documentation?
Yeah.
Didn't you write a lot of it?
Oh no. I don't know.
I have a very bad track record of writing good documentation. Okay, right, restart this.
Yes.
Oh, come on. Don't do this to
Of
me.
course, with that setting now changed, I must update my Ansible playbook, right?
Yes, all
Because
of
the
this.
next time we do a deploy from it, it will override.
Yes, all of this. Oh.
No problem. Okay, so sorry. For the benefit of the viewers who, they're not as smart as you and I, what's the problem here?
So, small flaw is that I don't actually quite know, but for whatever reason, we're getting this error, name does not resolve, when we're trying to start the listener.
Okay.
Which is confusing me because that should be absolutely fine. So one thing I know is that Docker doesn't like IPv6 particularly without a lot of hand-holding. So let's just try. So : is basically a IPv6 way of saying bind to all addresses. The IPv4 is 0.0.0.0.
I see.
So if we do that, then maybe
Okay.
everything will be happier.
Okay. So this is a speculative
Effectively, yep.
test now. All right, let's see.
Oh, it started.
Great.
We curl. We can curl. Excellent.
Ta-da.
So this is what the metrics look like. Basically, you just have a lot of metrics names. These are labels, and these are the actual values.
No values. So none of these values are populated. Is that not unexpected?
All of these are basically counters, so they always increase.
Yes.
And you just take the rate.
Okay.
So since it's just started, everything will start at 0 basically.
I see. Okay.
So you can see that there's already been 2 presence updates. Things like that.
Presence is my nemesis. Okay.
So you can see all of this, all these, basically tons and tons of stuff. Oh, you have like, here. This is how long it took to get a database connection from the database pool. Okay. And things like that.
It's quite an even distribution.
So the way that these are actually underscore buckets are actually histograms. Yeah. So this is that. There were 16 that took less than 0.05.
I see. So it's cumulative. So inevitably they'd be the same number as they go. Okay.
Yeah, seconds. So like everything happened in 0.05 seconds. Good. So that's good.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So we've got that up and running. So the only thing now is to point Prometheus at this port.
Yes.
So if we go to opt Prometheus.yaml, and we stick a job name, let's call it Synapse, and we say static configs. So you can set Prometheus up into all sorts of ways. So static config just means that we're using just a static thing.
Is that target?
So target. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. 9156. Okay, so this will just, you can use things other ways like DNS resolution and things to have like dynamic ways of getting all of this. Okay. But this is why we call it static configs, because it's just they're always in the same place. Okay. And we only have one, so we only have one.
Absolutely. And it's on the same server anyway, so it's just local host with the port.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully, if we then do Docker restart Prometheus. Cool. Okay. We then go and have a look at your web browser. We have a look at the targets, hopefully. So if we just have a quick stare inside the Prometheus containers to make sure that everything is hunky-dory. Then share.
Yes.
Cat, etc. Prometheus.yaml.
Oh, this is the config though. I thought we needed to look at the progress or status.
Well, I'm just double checking that we have in fact got the config in the right place, and we do.
Right.
So I'm just sort of slightly confused why we're not seeing the target, it coming up in this targets list, because this should have Synapse. So and I don't think, it's not coming up in the metrics.
No.
So that's very sad. Like, how does, for example, the Nginx how's the Nginx set up? Let's just copy that. Because the Nginx presumably has to talk to all the ports. It's just doing localhost as well, which presumably means they're sharing a network. Docker inspect network. So they're sharing. They're sharing a matrix network.
Can we add this?
We should be able to add it to the thing.
Right. Okay. And will this be disruptive for the previous Ansible playbooks?
No.
Okay.
So you can just add things to the network quite happily.
Okay.
Is it network? Connect to it. Network.
Right. Okay.
Can actually. Cool. Docker network connect. That sounds like what we want. Docker network connect matrix Prometheus. Cool. So a lot of this we have to go back and add to the Ansible stuff, but that's fine. Maybe if we have a quick look inside of Nginx. Where has Nginx gone? Oh, is there no Nginx actually? Oh, is the Nginx actually inside the? Oh, I see what's going on. I do remember how Docker works. I promise you. Right.
You're still far ahead of me.
They're running the Nginx inside the actual Synapse containers, I think, and stuff, rather than having Nginx separate thing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I think if we actually log into...
What's this then? Is this not the Nginx? Oh, it's just
It's just right. So we have a quick look inside the matrix synapse thing. We look at the IP, where it's gone. That one. Copy. Hopefully, if we do into Prometheus, we can. Oh, what? Curl. No. Not yet.
Why would ping be a pseudo question?
Probably just doesn't. Okay, right. So we do, in fact. Cool. So we can actually get to that port now, which is great.
Yeah, here we go.
So if we then change the Prometheus config to point to that port, that IP even, directly. Go. And hopefully if we then restart Prometheus.
We did.
And then
now we should see it in the targets list. Okay.
Hopefully. Come on.
Well, this took like a minute earlier.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's still not there. Why is it not there?
I don't know, Eric.
Oh, this is
Help!
Help! No, I did not want to do that. That's what I want to do. Let's double check the actual config makes sense. Oh, that would be why.
I don't see it. What is it? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, they're using YAML without an A. So if we
so you just copy it from one to the other, right?
Yeah. Well, if we just do Docker, let's just restart from stop Prometheus, kill Prometheus with fire.
I get it.
Docker run. Okay, we do that. If we also add it to the matrix network.
Yes.
Right. Oh. It would help if I actually changed the config that we needed to change. We need to change this to YAML. Right. Better.
Another restart?
So that's just a run.
Okay,
come on. There we go. Alright.
Ta-da!
Right.
Alright, I love it.
Hopefully. There, both up. Excellent.
Fab.
Right, so hopefully if we go to process, CPU seconds, execute, you can see synapses there, hopefully.
Yeah, a little line.
Little line, just started.
That's
It's
perfect.
10% CPU.
That's amazing.
Cool.
All right. Okay. So what we had been going to do this. So I should
Yeah.
start by saying thank you. It's really important to get metrics and logging and all the kind of debugging tools that you need to run a server running. And yeah, sometimes it's quite handy to have a first-party Synapse developer in the room with you to set it up for you. What we had been going to do today was think about Grafana configuration and output from Prometheus. But I think we've had enough time here.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do another section sometime, or maybe we'll just write more documentation. The Matrix.org team, the Synapse team, actually have a very extensive set of Grafana templates that they use themselves, and we should investigate making some of those available.
I think some of the main ones are already in the
Okay.
Synapse repository as well. You can they're just JSON blobs, so you just copy and paste JSON into Grafana import tool. You might need to fiddle around a little bit with like the data sources and stuff, but they should just work.
So, all right. So another day we will look at Grafana and its connections to Prometheus. I think that's a rather simple job compared to what we've just seen. All right, Erik, thank you so much for your time. I know that this, it's a busy time, and thank you very much for taking over.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right, from Matrix Live, see you soon.
See ya.
Bye.